Hi Pisces, how are you? Athena here. Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, welcome to my channel. Please do hit subscribe, and I would love to have you a part of this community. Now this reading is a weekly reading for Pisces, and this is for Sun, Moon, Venus, or Rising for Pisces. In Pisces, we're going to be looking into the week for you. We're going to see what your current energy is, what the theme of the week is, where you're focusing your energy, what you're trying to accomplish this week, what are your obstacles, what's going against you, what's going with you, what should you embrace within yourself, and how should you utilize your resources and energy and time, as well as any outcome, advice, or anything that we have going on. Okay, so when I was tapping into your energy, Pisces, I did hear the message, find support. I don't know if you are usually the beacon of light for others around you and you're the one giving out the support for most of your lifetime, or and now it's time for you to allow others to be the beacon of light and show you the support that you need at this point in time. So let's go ahead and take a look at your energy. And we have the Tower, the Empress, and the Two of Cups as your current energy. So your foundation, your sense of complacency, your comfortable and way of being that you've been living, all came down and became shuttered and was um, reorganized, not by necessity but by choice from the divine. And I see that this was actually in an attempt to be fully into your autonomy, into your power, and show you the way within yourself. The people in the Two of Cups just have like this really saddening kind of face to them. So the reason this Tower moment came in was to restructure your emotional connections with people. And that's because you were operating from a place in which the emotional connections were not balanced, or you are experiencing your emotional connections are just basically crushing down and falling out of place. This could be breakups, it could be romantic relationships, it could be people at work, platonic relationships, it can be any kind of relationship you have with people. But this relationship is basically uh, being restructured. And the reason it's being restructured is that so that you can not be giving so selflessly of yourself anymore. You can still continue to be the nurturing, loving, healing person that you are, Pisces. However, this current energy that you're exhibiting is to kind of guide you towards allowing other people to develop themselves, allow other people to be of service to themselves and step fully into their own power, so that when you guys are bonding, it comes more from an equilibrium type of being rather than you pouring yourself out. And so it looks like this is the kind of support that you need at the time. You probably just need to find people that are going to give you the support that you need and not just take from your cup, take from your energy, take from your emotional support that you provide, or if it's financial support that you provide, whatever it is that you're providing to them, right? There's going to be an equal balance of exchange of energy. So this is your current energy, and the theme of the week is Four of Pentacles, Four of Swords, and Two of Pentacles. So you may be a little reluctant to see the inequality between this give and take that and support that you've been giving to people, whether it be in the workplace, like I said, whether it be financially, emotionally, you name it, whatever applies to you. Holding on to that idea is just going to prolong the necessary changes that the universe is trying to invoke in you. They are going to be guiding you to rest and meditate and reflect and give it a really good thought this week. How to juggle and balance your resources, your energy, your money, your lifestyle, whatever it may be, and however it might apply to you. It's time for you to take a look at it. And don't worry if you think that, because I feel like you're kind of thinking like, okay, but these relationships took so long. Like I invested so much into these relationships to get to where I am. And I want to keep working on these, or I'm not ready to let go of these relationships because I invested so much of my energy and time into developing them that I'm just not willing to start all over again. Like, what do you mean? And that's just coming from a place of a mentality of lack and scarcity and limit, right? That's the idea that there's only a fixed amount of whatever this resource is, whatever this connection is, whatever this thing, place, person that is for you. But the truth is that it isn't. There is an abundance and limitlessness of everything in the world. And, this is just your perspective that needs to be shifted a little bit. And perhaps this is why the divine wants you to kind of rest this week and give it some thought. Give it some real thought and some real integrity is what they're saying. Some real integrity of how have these relationships benefited you, because you've been benefiting them in a lot of ways if you're the one bringing the support and emptying your cup into them. But what are you getting in return? Okay. Or it could like apply, you could flip it and it could be the other way around. So this is your key goal and what you want most at the moment, or at least that you're working towards, is the Page of Cups, the Page of Wands, and the Devil. Yeah, so there's a very genuine innocence to you in which you just really love these relationships, or whatever the case may be that this is for you. You really look at it with such admiration and passion and love and enthusiasm, and just a very genuine, fresh. It almost reminds me like the sun, just like a child running, the card, the sun, just a child running and just having fun, being creative, very expansive energy. That's what you're desiring out of the relationship. That's what you're getting out of them, or that's what you're hoping to get out of them. But you are working towards this relationship because you feel enthusiastic about it. You feel genuine about it. You love doing this for people. So it really comes from a place of heart where you just love being that support person to people, being that rock, being that beacon of light when things are just hitting the fan, and there's so much negativity going on, and especially now in the world, but just in general, this is who you are. You love to do this. And with the Devil, I see that this is actually it is a codependent behavior of yours. However, you are working towards breaking that cycle and breaking and working towards how you can change the dynamic. How can you transform, because you're not ready to let go of these relationships, right? Or whatever it may be for you. But you're instead looking at it and how can I transform it? How can I basically keep the same people around, or the same scenario, but just transform it into something different, where it doesn't have to be negative. You do want to be able to transform these relationships into something that is more healthy and not so toxic. So you are working at that. But being the Page, even though it's a very sincere energy, it's also very novice. So which tells me, you kind of don't know which direction to go with. That could apply with some of you. Some of you could actually just be really investing some time into figuring out how you can transform it. So, take it as it is. If it resonates, take it. If not, you know, toss it out the window, no problem. So these are your fears, obstacles, challenges, whatever it is that you need to break through. And that is the Three of Wands, Five of Swords, and the Judgment. Okay, so how I'm seeing this is that typically you're the one pouring out of your cup, right? You're the one being the beacon of light. You're the one brightening up everybody's mood, having everybody's back, being that rock support person for those around you, right? And what you need to overcome, or the breakthrough that the divine wants for you, is that, you know, it's time to allow them to put some work in, and trust that they will collaborate, trust that they will come into their senses and grow into their full potential as well. And like don't expect so much from them so fast, but do allow them to develop themselves as they're growing, and kind of like stay back, and so like don't spy on them so much, and just allow them to have a rebirth on their own. If they reach out for you for support and guidance, by all means, you know, go ahead and give them the guidance that you feel is what they need. But instead of providing them with the answers, kind of just like lead them to the answers and allow them to use their own abilities to get to the answer. You know, just be more like of a guide than you are giving away the answers, giving away that support, right? So if these are people that need support in any way, shape, or form, allow them to find that support within themselves, to be able to know how to stabilize themselves, whether that be emotionally, financially, you name it, right? Instead of you just automatically giving that resource to them. Okay, so that's what you should be overcoming this week, or be trying to overcome this week. And what is going for you, or you know, your accomplishment, is we have the Temperance, the Two of Wands, and the Magician. So what is going for you is that you are making the choice to be on the right path, and you are choosing to have harmony and balance within your relationships, whatever that relationship may be, like I said, look like for you. And you are able to manifest this. So this is very great to see that you know, this is something that is very easy attainable for you, quite an accomplishment. Okay. So what is going against you? We have the Knight of Wands, the Five of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands. So what you have going against you, especially when it comes to financial resources, but take it for whatever it is that you're giving away from yourself, your time, your love, whatever it is. When someone needs the help, when someone needs support from you, what works against you is that you instantly want to go and help them. You want to get them out of that relationship, or get them out of that situation that they're in, that hardship that they are in. You want to come in quickly and help them, and just kind of be like this motherly figure, and like hug them and make sure that they're okay. And so you want to come to people's lives and be their savior, be their support system, so that, you know, it's very intuitive to who you are. So it's counterintuitive to kind of like reframe back and allow them the space to evolve, right? And to develop into their full autonomous person, right? Because here's the thing, let's just say that this is a working project, or a project at work. If you're doing this for people, if you are carrying their burdens and not allowing them to come into their own fulfillment of their power, then you're basically just like well, there's different kinds of moms, right? There's moms that show their kids to be independent, and then there's moms that allow their kids to be codependent of them because they do everything for them. So when that child goes out into the real world, that child does not know how to take care of themselves because mom always did that for them, right? So in whatever shape, way, or form this applies to you, that those people that you've been continuously giving the support to, think of it that way. You know, you're kind of giving a codependence behavior here that we need to move away from, and that you know you got to move away from, and more into allowing them the space to grow, find their own gifts, find their own talents, unlock their own treasure, and know that you being the candle and lighting them as a candle, right? Because you could have all these candles, but if one candle is shining and that candle is the only beacon of light for all these other candles, yes, it will be a lit room. But if that mother figure, which is you, can light up the candle, all the other candles with your light not only does not diminish, so you don't lose any more power, you actually empower others, all those around you, to become their own into their own light and shine their own gifts. And so then what do you have? You have a brighter room. Do you have a dimmer room? Not at all. Nobody becomes disempowered by that. Actually, quite the opposite. Everybody becomes empowered because of that, right? So that is what's working against you, is the fact that you want to come in and just save everyone, but just step back and allow their growth and development to happen in its own course. Okay, Pisces? So, what to embrace within yourself? Queen of Swords, the Lover, and the Ace of Wands. That although you're a very emotional water sign, which is perfectly normal and expected from you, know that you can also be, I'm seeing like a clutch, so that you can shift gears, right? You don't have, just because you're a Pisces, just because you're a water sign, that doesn't mean that you have to stay in a nurturing, loving mama bear type of energy. You have the ability to shift into other ways of being, other energies, right? And with the Queen of Swords, you can become quite the intellectual, quite the leader, intellectually direct, knowledgeable, and teach, right? So you are a teacher as well. You're not just an emotional being. And even though strongly, I'm feeling very strongly with the Lover's card, how loving and nurturing you are. That's what I'm saying, is not to neglect any of that. That is so beautiful, and that is very beautiful to see, that side of you. But also know that there's another side of you, and that side of you is that you can teach people. You can incorporate your emotions and your intellectual into one. It doesn't have to be two sides of you. You don't have to be one or the other. You don't have to create codependent people around you and then be completely independent yourself. You can co-create, you can blend them together, you can allow others to become self-sustaining and independent, while you also maintained self-sustaining and independent. And then when you guys do step into that power fully, you know, that love is just going to be so much more magnified, because it's the difference between someone being around and just kind of like tired of you because you're, you know, telling them you got to do this, you got to do that, and so they're like, well, dad's the cool one, you know, mom's not really, or whatever the case may be, like what gender you are. But that's just one example, versus oh, I missed you so much, I can't wait to see you, I'm so glad, you know, we get to go to the park together, and I love spending time with you. And it doesn't matter if we're doing homework or homeschooling or whatever it may be. You know, that, so it's like the place of like the love that's coming from will be much more amplified and much more different than one that is coming from a codependent behavior. And I feel like this has already been something that has been inspired through you. Like, this is a vision that you already have. This is an awareness of what you're working towards already. So, you know, like I said earlier, you're probably already looking towards how to transform this behavior. So this is definitely you going into that direction. So embrace that within yourself. You have that ability and that knowledge and awareness of what path to take. Okay. So now, how should you spend your time, energy, and resources? So we got the King of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, and Six of Pentacles. So how you should be spending your resources, your time, your energy, or at least where you should be looking to find support is not only, like I said, being the theme of the week, right? The Two of Pentacles is juggling your resources, juggling your time, juggling how you're spending time with people around you, how much time you're willing to give them, and guidance that you're willing to give them, and support that you're willing to give them, and dedication to each one, before you become super mama bear and then just take over and do everything for them, right? So be very careful how you be self-aware of how much energy you're putting out there and when you need to step back, as well as continuing to work on this so that you are planting this new way, this new foundation, this new very divinely inspired way of being. And you can create it because you are the magician. And so just continues just to spend that energy and that time building that foundation for those around you, in whatever shape, way, or form that may look like for you. That is what the guidance is. It's just, you know, and you might come across people that are just not going to understand where you're coming from. That's just because they lack the awareness. Maybe they could be in codependence behaviors themselves, maybe not, but they just lack the awareness of where you're coming from. So don't worry too much about their criticism. Just take it with a grain of salt and continue to work on building the stable home environment, relationship, support it is that it is for you. Now, as a future outcome, advice, encouragement, we have the Five of Cups, Eight of Wands, Page of Swords. So I feel like if some of these people that you've been a support system to did you wrong or made some mistakes, I feel like they're going to come in and they're going to let you know, like give you an apology. It may not be too much of a sincere apology, or it just may be that they're scared to give you this apology because they don't know how you're going to react to that. However, they know that they did cause some pain to you, and they do want to speak about it. But you know, I mean, the main message was like to find the support. So maybe, you know, maybe you just need this closure with them, this conversation to happen to kind of just round things up and be able to move away from that if that's what you need to do. Or you know, because this was either not being able to let go of those relationships or not being able to let go of those ideas or those behaviors, however may apply to you. There will be some communication coming in from that person, or it might just be you that you're reaching out and you're letting them know, hey, this is what's been going on, and we really need to talk about this matter. All right, Pisces, that's all I have for you this week. I hope you have a great week, and I hope that this truly helped you. And if you do like what you saw, please do subscribe. And if you find it helpful and have other Pisces friends that can help, that could possibly find this helpful as well, please do share. And thank you. I'll see you next week. Bye.